Welcome. This is Chit Chat with G-Wise, and we are back with another exciting edition. And today I want to take you back into time in terms of entertainment. Those days when music was really on the hype in terms of Zambian music. Trust me, today you enjoy this show because my guest is very versatile in terms of what he does. But meanwhile, let me alert you to where we are. Today we are shooting from Mezban Paradise Investment. And of course, this is a very good restaurant that they serve a variety from English to Indian food. Okay, Zambian as well. So if you want to have a meal, come here. It's in Kablonga. A very clear location, something that you can't miss as you drive along Twin Palm Road. So if you want to have a meal, you know where to have that nice meal of yours. And of course, I'm talking about Mezban Paradise. Now, this is Chit Chat with G-Wise, and you know what we do on this show? We cover everything else, okay? As long as it's inspiration, sales and marketing, entertainment, tourism, we have it right here. And then we are also big on business, okay? We want to make sure that you know, as you get into that business, you know what you're doing, you know the pros and cons, so we are big on that. So if you want to get some tips, well, we'll bring you those guests, people that have made it in the industry, and of course, those that are just thriving, trying to make it. Also, we look at careers from different aspects, okay? We know that our audience could be young as well and adult as well. So we want to make sure that you understand what sort of a career you can venture into, or what is a career all about. If we talk about law, what is it all about? Journalism, what is it all about? So we bring you people like that on this podcast because we want to make sure that the society gets the best out of Chit Chat with G-Wise. Like I mentioned in my preamble, today I'm very excited because I think the memories that we're going to have today will take us back into time. I'm talking about the days of Zigololo. Ladies and gentlemen, Red Linso is my guest today. Bagaram.
You good?
Good to have you, man.
Yeah, good to see you after a while, no?
Where have you been?
I've been around.
Or is it me who's hiding?
Yeah, I think you went for education, for school.
Yeah.
And you disappeared from there. And I think myself also, I just got a little bit busy away from the limelight, doing a few other things that I thought could be put in place before I could come back to the limelight.
You talk the way you do music. There's no difference to the Red Linso that we hear on the songs and your voice right now.
Yeah, you see, sometimes when I'm chatting with friends, I avoid talking or expressing myself much because everyone else around will feel like I'm now entertaining them when I'm communicating myself to them. You understand? So sometimes
this is why you are the quiet one in the group.
Yeah, this is why I'm the quiet one. I normally am reserved because of that fact. Because Palasti, you start giving them entertainment for free. You understand? They need to pay for that entertainment.
Yeah.
So I keep that entertainment aspect of myself by not speaking to myself.
Ah, okay, all right. Red Linso, good to have you on the show today.
Well, it's nice to be on the Chit Chat G-Wise.
Yeah.
After a while, and I'm elated that I'm here, and I'm very excited to have to express myself to the people out there, the fans all over the world, and they need to hear and know what I'm up to and what I've been up to.
With all the due respects, but 2000. This is the man behind the Zigololo.
Yeah.
And a lot of many other hits that we used to enjoy and we still enjoy, because I think you guys, you did music that just didn't trend. You know what I mean? You did music that, you can listen to years after.
Yeah, even 100 years from now. And this is one of the reason why the music is there. We did music not for the people, for excitement. No, not music.
Just put your mic a little bit closer to you.
Not music because it's what the fans want. It's the music that it's the inspiration that got us to do that music. Out of inspiration, not out of people's demand. You understand?
Not out of peer pressure.
That pressure that you have.
Or because there are no jobs.
You understand? So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And when we were writing and coming up with the songs and the lyrics aspect of it was purely chi, like the inside energy and the inside expression that we we brought in the songs. As a result, it relates to everybody across the timeline. You understand? So our music cuts barriers in terms of space and time because of that. And how we wrote music was within ourselves. You understand? So if I want to write a song, I mustn't be inspired by a certain song that I've listened to. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
So I don't listen to anybody's song to inspire me. I need to inspire myself from what I'm thinking and perceiving in my mind to create that authentic work.
Not because a certain sound is trending, then you want to jump on it.
No.
But you have to create something.
Ride on the wave.
Yeah.
No, we had to create something within us to bring it forth. And when someone relates to that, and if you relate to it now, someone will relate to it 100 years to come, because then it is, like I said, it cuts time barriers.
Wow, that's huge right there.
Yeah, it's something that in music, in the music art aspect, we call it, for those that study work or music art, it's called, you evoke something, okay?
Yeah.
So you withdraw from society and evoke yourself. And the Congolese or the French, they would say evocation, where you evoke something within you and bring it forth.
Wow. Do you think there's a lot of that going on right now in the industry?
Well, I am afraid not so, because the result is the songs that you listen to now. Excuse me. So the songs that you listen to now, they are trendy songs.
Trending songs.
So they are based on trends. You understand?
Yeah,
so
I get it.
There's a difference between the songs then and the songs now. The songs now are based on trends. What is trending? So I'm going to talk about what is trending. I'm not going to talk about what I'm thinking, but my creation. Yeah. I'm going to talk about that
simply
song.
just jumping on the wave.
Yes. Ride the wave. So this is the difference. So there are a lot of they don't understand. So I've been into studios with a lot of youngsters making music and recording their works. They will just come with a concept, a headline. Not even a concept, because the concept is actually conceptualized. It's a complete.
So they come with the headline.
They come with a headline. They go to the studio with a headline. I say, nina idea. So nifuno kamba pali kagero. I want to talk about a girl, or I want to talk about a flower. So that's not a song.
There's no inspiration.
No, there's nothing there. It's not a
there's
song.
There's no authenticity.
No. So what happens in the end is that they start thinking, beat, I want this beat to sound more or less like this guy's song. And you understand what I'm saying?
So are we sampling more now than we used to back in the day?
There is more of sampling, and I would call that music now is not really created, it's arranged. I break it down to let's say you assemble it.
Wait, let me just get my breath right there. You said music now it's not created, it's what?
Arranged or assembled.
You
get this part there, you get this part there. For example, I want a beat that is Afro beat. But it should sound like a little bit similar to this guy, so we don't infringe on somebody's thing. And then, the instruments, the sounds should sound like this and be blah 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 blah, which is not your creation. So you assemble a song, and you call it yours, and you say, I have a song, a brand new song. It's not a brand new song. It's an assembled. It's songs that were there before. We must understand something about creation. Creation is created from without, from the imagination.
From the imagination,
you understand? That's creation. Then you are creating. So if you pick a sound from there, pick a beat from there, pick a lyric from there, and you assemble it, and you call it. It's not your creation.
No,
you've just assembled.
I get it.
And music, art was never meant to be assembled. Art was meant to be created. Wow. So that's the difference between the artists, the real musicians, and the real artists then. And a lot of artists who are really not artists now, because no talent has become talent now.
Yeah.
Things are easy. You can easily expose yourself on the phone. You easily expose yourself in any studio. Every household, you find that many households got little studios on the corner.
Yes, like everybody now has a studio in the corner.
Yes.
You're right, actually. But back then, for you to get a studio time.
Come on, man. Don't take me there.
Please, I need you to go deeper, Papa.
Because you know where you listen to all this music from all over the world. There's the hip hop, R&B, there was the Kwaito then, there's the rumba then, and engulfed in our radio airwaves. Because we're going to speak about this. There's been a lack of protection in our airwaves in terms of the
Copyright.
arts.
Yeah.
Yes. And this music will just blow us away, blow the Zambians away. So you know that we can do what these guys are doing and better, but the platform is not there.
Yeah.
So for you to get a platform, to get time to studio and you record your music, it took years, a little longer than we were. For example, it took me about 7 years to get into a studio and get a record deal and start recording my works.
7 years?
Yeah, some of my
So within that 7 years, what were you doing? Were you
within that 7 years, I was writing works.
Okay.
So you have a box under your bed, and anything you write, you throw it.
You throw it there. Yeah.
And when hoping that time comes when you're gonna bring
just
out
pick
that
up the
and
pieces.
you just check. Okay, I need this particular song to go. It was not an easy thing. Very difficult because studio time was extremely expensive, and as youngsters just from school, the pockets were torn. There was nothing in the pockets that you could pay the studio time with. Record labels were not there because the industry itself, the music industry itself, had died off.
Yeah.
It had died off.
What do you mean?
For over, I'll explain.
Yeah.
For over about 10 plus years. Okay. Let me now elaborate this like this. There was a time when there was a Pongozi, Big Shishala, and that generation. And that generation just died off. Like within a short spurt of time, they died.
Most of them, yeah.
Most of them died. And then with the economic going on, the negative economic trends going on that time in Zambia, a lot of studios moved and record labels shifted to Zimbabwe, shifted to South Africa, and withdrew to economies which were doing better.
So let me just get this. Those Benapongozi and that generation, they were recording with proper sound.
Yes.
Sound engineers and stuff.
Proper.
Were these people Zambians?
Some of them were not, others were Zambians.
Okay.
There was DB Studio, I think, which remained to be a Zambian in dollar, and it stayed there for some time.
Okay.
And these guys were lucky because they could have record labels like Teal. I don't know whether that record label is still there, but it was an international record label. So they could even send them to go and record in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, and any other place where they had proper equipment to record. So when that generation and that economic downturn for Zambia came, a lot of things got messed up in the music industry. Our musicians died off, and then it left a gap. It left now a new generation, which was us, and where to learn from and where to access those particular platforms and equipment to do records shrank. And then you had, like, for example, in Lusaka, you had about 3 studios.
Okay.
And then maybe there was in Twastix, I remember, and there was then Feedback, which was brought by Thomas Nielsen from Denmark.
Okay.
And there was what was that? Soundcheck Studios.
Soundcheck, yeah.
And those studios were booked like from 367 days in a year. They were completely booked from 7 to 18. And people without money could not see a studio time. You had to be extremely good for them
to recognize
you. Yes, for them to recognize you and say, can we give a chance to this guy? And mumfake ni kumazulu azibwera usiku. So you would only record in the night.
Okay. So at what point then did you guys, or which artist do you feel really had to break that gap?
Okay, so there was then 1994, 1993, 1994. I remember. There was Burning Youth then.
Yes.
There was Uncle Ballad Zulu then.
Yes.
And the Mwanawandi, the big man was still there. Was still alive.
Saniana as well, right?
Yes, but he had trekked to Aussie, to Australia. And you see, but if you look at that particular genre, it was not a genre that was youthful.
No, it wasn't.
So to say, it wasn't. That authentic Zambian
yes, I agree
feel. So from there now, a generation started coming. That's when you saw rap prophets. There was Nasty D then, and there was JK and all these, the Dizimas, and Mainza. That collaboration there. Started coming up. George Wang was in the rap prophets by then, and from there now, we as young people then began to believe in ourselves and say we can do this. These people are abusing our airwaves. They can be through all over our airwaves and all over the nightclubs, and we're here. We can provide this service that these people are providing to our fans, and the content that these people are providing to the TV stations, and individually that is because as a society there's always people who say, but this is ours. This is our society. This belongs to us. And with that unity of purpose, hence a generation of artists began to come up, and this is where we are now. And we are where we are because of that particular generation, which was sacrificing their time, sacrificing their energies and all their little monies to just put Zambian music on the map. First of all, Zambian music in the Zambian space.
To everybody in that space that is late, may their souls rest in peace, and thank you that Zambian music, it is what it is. And for those that are still alive, big
salute.
To them,
it's a big salute.
We salute. You talked about arranging, sampling, and not creating. Is this a reason why we have a few international Zambian artists?
There's a number of reasons. I can't really pinpoint that particular point as the contributing factor. There are a number of factors that really, like I say, it could be one of the factors.
Okay.
Because then if I do sample here, somewhere else in the world is going to tell to say this
is not origin.
I had this there, I had that there, I had this there.
Okay.
You understand? So at the end of the day, it's the authenticity doesn't really strike people to say this actually belongs to that. So you don't really strike a mark on the international scene, so to say. One aspect. Another aspect is the polarization of our digital space and the airwave, which is not protected, which is not affirmative-like action, for lack of a better term.
If you have to make money off YouTube, you don't have to put Zambian. You put another country.
Yes, you have to put a Zambian, another country's code or something like that. If I want to have my music on Apple, Zambia hasn't got a code. I need to register different country's code so I can have my music there to go there. So I'm actually not going to be recognized as a Zambian. I will be recognized by the code, the country's code. You understand? So also that is a drawback.
That's a drawback for sure.
That's a drawback for the Zambian music fraternity to break even. And the other thing is that we as a Zambian people really unite only for this long in terms of focusing on unity of purpose.
Unity of purpose.
That is a very
reminding
important
me of the Bob Marley movie now that's trending.
So unity of purpose is a very determining factor to a society's development and the pace at which they're developing. The airwaves that I'm talking about, you're talking about radio stations, TV stations, and all that, and then we go to the digital space, which is the internet and all this social media aspect. You find that a Zambian owns a Zambian a TV station, and they're not gonna air any Zambian stuff for free. They have to make you pay. You have a content.
The reason is that we need to also sustain ourselves.
Yes, the reason is they need to sustain themselves.
Why not use that content to go find business outside, so that when I make content, I give you content. You pay me for giving you content.
Yes.
Your job, because you have that station that creates, that is dependent on content. I create content, I give you. Then you have a station that depends on that content. Go out there, look for business.
Yes. So I must give them money, because they say no, we are a commercial thing, because we have to make money for anything that we air. We pay for this time that we play your works, which is very retrogressive in the music circles, because I'm an upcoming artist. I don't have anything in my pocket. I've got good content.
Very good.
I can give you good content.
Yes.
And you can use that content, and people will be flocking to your radio station or TV station to just watch me there. But I don't have the money to give you. So what happens then? You know, it becomes detrimental to the development of my arts, and consequently the arts in general in the country. And you find the amalgamation, like I keep saying, people must be united to protect the airspace, the digital space. Zambia has got the Air Force. There is no plane that can just pass through the Zambian airspace.
No.
It's protected.
It's protected, yeah.
So even the digital space for the arts, for the IP, the intellectual property, has to be protected in that manner.
Who do we look up to protect that for us?
So we have a law in Zambia, which is colloquial or colonial, if I might call it like that, because it's outdated in the form, because the space now is digital space.
Yes, it's digital.
That's
space.
where the money is.
Yeah.
And if you have collecting societies which are not protected to collect on the digital space, you have nothing.
You have nothing, literally nothing.
Your content makers or producers, they depend on foreign companies to collect on their behalf. So that puts us on a disadvantageous side. You find that most of these digital spaces, they are owned by South Africans, Nigerians, or from the US and elsewhere. We don't have a digital space platform for ourselves, which belongs to us, which is protected by the Zambian laws. And the Zambian laws must make sure that there is economic affirmative action which favors the locals, so we can develop to the level where these people are. And they have economic affirmative actions everywhere else in the world by different countries. It is not that they are being stingy or anything else or being unfair. It is just that they protect their own. Their own come first before anybody else can come in.
And they have a system where, as they protect their own, there are a lot of beneficiaries. You get a point. So you find that the producer benefits, the guitarist benefits, the guy on the keyboard benefits.
It's a chain.
Everybody else benefits.
It's a chain.
And at the end of the day, the industry stands.
Yes, the industry is turned. A sector is turned into an industry, because apparently what we have is a sector. It's a music sector. It's not a music industry. No. Because
this is insightful, man.
Because we don't have proper regulations inside.
Have a drink.
I've seen I'm gonna sip in that. I'm very eager to let this message go out there.
Please.
We have people. And we have companies, for example, if I might take you to content providers and whatnot, that do not follow the law, the Zambian laws.
Okay.
For example, it is by law that you pay royalties.
Royalties, yes.
For the content you use.
You play on stations.
Yes, as a media.
Else,
as a media institution.
Mm-hmm.
And you find owners of a media institution thinking that it is a favor that they're doing
to the artists.
To the artists when they pay those that amount of money, which is commanded or obligated, or what the law says stipulates that you must pay this for this content, because it's IP, it's intellectual property that you're using. Let you pay this person the money. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to give what belongs to Caesar because they feel like they are not obligated. And a law, you cannot debate with the law.
Mm-hmm.
But Zambian institutions or media institutions in this aspect do debate with the law.
And that's not right.
And which is not really right. This is why I'm saying that we are not protected as IP content providers in this particular country. If you are not protected in totality, you cannot say, yes, but we are protected a little bit. But there's nothing there. You have to be protected entirely.
With all that you've said, you realize some of this when you're already in the sector, in the game. Okay. But you continue to push you through, and you continue to do your music.
Yes.
What then was your motivation?
So now, like I said, our dream or our vision as artists then, our vision was to kind of like brush away this foreign music from our airwaves.
Yeah.
That was our vision. That was our prime vision. That was what we were looking at. We were not really looking at how are we protect, how are we done what, But since now that we have managed, so we did manage to kind of I'll use the lyric aspect of one of artists called Sansan. We did. Yes.
No, where is Sansan from?
Sansan is one of the artists who I think from our generation who is a rapper, and he said that we did coup d'etat all these big industries from our airwaves. So we did manage to kind of push these people back, and our people managed to love the music done by their own people and supported it to death. So the realization came forth when now we had established this. We saw this could move. And then as you do, you delve into trying to make form a sector into an industry. You need to be looking at the laws and policies now, the laws and policies which will then protect the intellectual property and the contents of the content providers. So that was where this realization is coming in from. And you, as an artist, you constantly research. And you know that...
And I can tell that you've done a lot of that.
Yeah, and you know that this is what is happening on the international. This is IP. What does IP mean? You know, you can, believe me or not, I've come across renowned journalists and who don't understand what intellectual property is. And how can you get loyalties from their bosses if their own employees don't understand what it is that they're giving out the money for? So from that realization now, we start pushing for better laws to protect the IPs. Now, here is a very important point that most of us overlook, and everybody out there in the authority stream. Intellectual property is where the money is. All these economic battles, corporate battles, they are based on intellectual property. So this is what we don't understand. So as a country, only when we begin to respect IP, we stabilize our country.
Yo.
One, IP produces, it's manufacturing now. That's what I'm talking about.
So,
It's manufacturing. In all sector, there is IP.
Yes, 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 yes.
Inventions, it's IP. Whatever you can look at is IP. These brands and whatnot, it's IP, intellectual property. So if we have neglected intellectual property, then what have we protected? We've protected nothing, because heritage is IP. You understand? There's a lot involved in heritage, which involves IP. And now let me simplify this. The creative aspect of life is what makes life.
The creative aspect of life is what makes life.
Yes. If there is no creative aspect of life,
in the first place, we are created.
Yes. So there is nothing
Yo,
that you're talking
thinking,
about.
Man.
There's nothing that you are talking about, and there's nowhere where you're going as a people, because the creative aspect of you, of your people, is dead because it's been neglected. Give you an example. When we were growing up, there was culture in schools.
Cultural dances. Yeah, I
Yes, you
used to do
remember that?
I
Natas,
do.
stuff like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
There was a day in a week where people were released to go and be creative.
I remember from coming in all the way from boarding school to Lusaka. I was in Luangwa, coming in to Lusaka Playhouse just to have Natas Festival.
Yes. You see, so the creative aspect of our minds is one of the most important pillars to our development.
Yeah.
So now here is two things. I'm an artist, I'm a musician. I'm using my creative aspect, and my creative aspect is not protected.
Yeah.
Then what are you protecting? You are protecting nothing, because at the end of the day you will produce nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Because
if my creation is not protected, I'll stop producing.
No,
I'll be
we won't
frustrated.
produce.
And sometimes, and most of the times, production requires
creativity.
Yes.
You can't produce without creativity. This is what we must understand. So we must be protected from that depth.
Yeah.
We're talking about music. Delve a little bit deeper into education system and where our music is at in the education system.
I once asked a fellow musician to say, I asked an artist to say, would you encourage your child to go to school, then after graduation to focus on music?
Nah, say no, obviously.
The answer was no, actually.
Obviously, the answer was no, because that aspect of a people is not protected, is not invested into. Investment. School system is investment. So when you invest in the creative aspect of a people, they begin to produce. And you can only invest, you can only protect when you invest. So if they they don't protect, they know they cannot invest. You understand? For a sector to become an industry, it has to be protected and people invest in that. Yeah. Because I need to know that my investment is safe and I'm going to make money. And because it is protected. So how are we going to have a flourishing industry with established studios, recording international studios, if the space is not protected, my IP is not protected? I want to do a song with some guy from a different country. They are going to ask me for my code, for example. What is your international code? Like your they call it the best number.
Okay. Yeah, even most when you submitting something international, they ask for that number.
What's your best number? What's your best number? And they will look at the best number. They will understand where I'm coming from. Probably that is going to put in jeopardy my featuring or my signing with those people, because they see the protection is not there in this in that particular space and platform.
Yeah.
So it is this topic is huge.
It's huge, yeah.
Which needs a lot of discussion and a lot of tables that have authority to make things change. But it will only change with this particular realization that we are actually killing ourselves by not protecting our IP, which is the creative aspect of a society, which is one of the pillars The major pillars, in fact, for a society to develop, because now you are going to protect only the aspect of remembrance, thinking. You can't think. Yeah. You only remember as a person, because the creative aspect has been shut down. There is nothing for you to be creative for.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of information, man. That's a lot of information. I think you brought out a lot of issues that I didn't even think would actually talk about, and this is huge, man. Big ups yourself. Let's just shift a little. Let's talk about your creation as Red Linso. Okay. First of all, why the name Red Linso?
Well, the name Red Linso is actually this name was a character I created.
Okay.
So when we were struggling, trying to cover this gap which was there, the gap which was there demanded that we be creative. And we fill in the gaps. What is missing? There was rap already.
Yes.
There was this name and that name there. And how could we actually begin to take over this gap slowly? Because if we ventured into doing rap, the big names, there were the Tupacs, the Trace,
everybody else.
The Snoops.
And you know something that people don't understand, to say when you are doing a certain type of genre, you're not just competing with the guys locally, but you look at everybody else in the world.
So you actually focus on the world level. You don't focus on your local level.
No,
because as a creative artist, when you focus on the local level, you've already limited yourself as to how far you go. So I had an idea that there could be this particular artist character who would recite poems or do poetry or rhythm and poetry in a manner that I do. And I was a straight rapper, a vernacular rapper by that time, and I could sing also. But then as I was developing, because you have to reach a finesse as an artist. The end you is to say, this is what people will know you for. Then I realized that I think I have to put on this particular name, because I'm the only person who can outrightly bring forth that which this particular character is supposed to bring forth. So hence the name Red Linso. And the name Red Linso, to explain and answer your question, is a metaphor which basically puts together the eye.
Yes.
And the color red, which for me interprets a lot of things depending on the situation.
Okay.
So if the eye sees, for example, respect, we are talking about the red carpets and stuff like that. So in that particular song, I'm talking about respect. And the eye has seen that there is respect here, and the color red depicts respect, similar to the love, similar to danger and whatnot. So hence I said, okay, red eye, the eye has seen red, and I express what the eye has seen through my music and my lyrical content. The style, if you might ask me,
I was coming to that actually.
The style is something I created out of that the need to be unique. And this character had to be very unique in terms of doing music.
Did you have challenges in terms of people accepting your challenge? I mean, your style.
So challenges are always there. And I had challenges, people accepting what I could do then. But this particular style, I never had anybody challenge. I never faced any challenge. I never saw people
just accepted it.
People just delved into like it's something they were waiting for, because the space was saturated with one and the same thing. That's what happens when you bring something new. People just jump. They just jump on the bandwagon because it's something very new and unique, and it's your own creativity, your own creation. Like I said, say, cut across the timeline and the space, and people just thought, I felt like this is what we were waiting for, and they instantly loved the style and became a household name. So on that aspect, I never had a challenge.
Okay, all right. What are some of the memories that you'd share in terms of starting up music, the exciting memories, you know?
Well, exciting memories where from day one you're in a home, you're rehearsing over my cassettes, you're playing over people's beats and whatnot. And then one day you're in the studio, and then the producer is making beats that you feel, and
they speak to you.
Yes, they speak to you, and then actually we were making the beats, so the producers were engineers.
Yeah.
So how we were making the beats, you would have a beat in the mouth, in the mind. So you beatbox. He said, "This is how my beat. I want my beat to sound, and I want a sound that is original." Oh, ntengerenika ka flute, but ka flute kajaga, those the kids make from mauzu, grass, bapanga kambo, and then they play. This is the sound I want, but we don't have. Can we make that? Can you sample it and put it in my music? That was very exciting, because then we were bringing forth creation. You understand? And the next exciting moment was to listen to your music everywhere you tune. And these people are playing your music, different songs at the same time. You tune here, they're playing your song. You tune here, they're at the same time. That was very exciting to feel the satisfaction from your work, and the long efforts of hours of efforts and nights and days become to get to fruition, and people appreciate your work. That was very exciting moments, and those moments were very memorable for me.
Okay, and you still treasure those moments?
And those are very treasured moments, because at the end of the day, that is what defines who I am and as an artist. That is what I can tell people, to say, this is what I've done. This is who I am now because of
a legacy.
Yes, that's a legacy that I'm leaving behind.
Yeah.
My legacy is long. You can, from after I came out, like after I blew up, like many people say, I blow up. After the success.
Okay, go ahead. But I wanted to ask you, at what point did you realize, say, up and a blower? At what point did you say, okay, I am the guy right now?
So after the recordings, after I got the recording deal, now sound check, they were doing a compilation, and that particular compilation, they had about 8 songs or so, no, 10 songs, and then on the 10 songs list, they put my song on number 8, and they went to the trade fair to go and sample, and they can showcase what their studio is doing and sample the music they produced. And then the Ndola people just say, no, this is the person we want. Can you put that song on repeat? No. So I'm going to the studio.
The first shall be the last.
That was a weekend. Yeah. I'm going to the studio on Monday, and the owner of the studio, Mr. Chapenuka, then just looked at me and said, we have a celebrity amid the stars. So I didn't understand what he was saying.
What he meant.
Yeah, what he meant. But he actually explained to say, you know what, your song has been on repeat since we went to the trade fair. So, and then it hit me. Said,
what song was that?
Daddy Did That Day.
Daddy.
So it hit me.
That was the first hit song.
First hit song on the chin.
Just pitch it up a bit.
Nemakumbwa konkala dade did that day na kamwana ka junior che.
Awesome.
So that for me, because that was the first song I did my style on, this different style. Yeah, so I took that risk and put it on a compilation, because it was not even tested. People knew me for something else, not for that particular skill.
Yeah.
You understand? So as I was building this, I was building another skill.
Yeah.
So these people expect Winston. Winston calls me.
I was about to ask you, when was Winston? When did Winston come in? Yeah.
So Winston and I linked up, because there was feedback. There was a Cypher studio at Carousel in town.
Carousel
shopping mall. Yeah,
that was a very famous.
It was very famous. Yes, it was very famous. So there were about.
I remember with this chap here.
Radio was there.
We used to walk there.
Yes, Radio Studio was there. Soundcheck was there. Feedback then, which Cypher studios occupied. There were three studios there. So he had my vocals on one of. A compilation, one of the songs on a compilation, which was called Lubuto Flashback, done by Ivo, and that style I've not unveiled that style yet.
Okay.
So he
Even
said,
up to date?
Up to date.
Oh, okay.
So he said,
so there's more to you that we haven't
there's
heard.
too much that you have not heard.
Yay.
So this guy...
When do you get tired? When will you ever get tired of music if you haven't heard what?
Yeah, when?
Okay,
you
okay,
understand?
we'll talk about
so
that.
you can't get tired because it's like creation.
There's no retirement.
No, you cannot stop creating if you're a creator. So he said, boy, nina nyimbo, I want you to feature. The song was Nkani Alula.
Nkani Alula.
Yeah, nifuna tuimbe pamoja ja nyimbo. I said, okay. And they had listened to that Luvuto flashback. So he loved the style there. Said, let us do a song together. Because apparently he was recording in the same recording studio as me. So instead, I did a different style, which was the Chin Chin style in Kani Alul. And then he had no objection. And then a few weeks later, the style blew up.
Yeah.
And
what was the difference in the
styles?
Yes.
The other style was more or less of it's Ngoni Senga rap.
Okay.
But purely typical, like I do pure Senga, pure Ngoni. Like it is not Chinyanja mixed with this language. No, for example, that rap was going Nekula, no song Kejela, no fuzilira ziko kuti video vipya nidie kuskulu nako kamuntu konitatika. This is deep,
yes,
you know,
deep.
typical language from the East. So this was the style. So now I said, okay, Winston is his style. I'm putting this different style, which is the chi in. So people call it chin chin, which is
how does it go?
The chi, it goes like, for example, I say hi, hello, na 14. You look nice, sitting taking a walk. That's very, very, very.
You're bringing in memories, man.
It's you know, it's one of those things that I feel proud about myself, man. And when I look back, I say, "Badi we sumveda." So the chi-in, they say, "Chin chin, what are you trying to be?" The chi is the energy that lives within you.
Yeah.
So as I was growing up, I was too much of an introvert.
I'd say you must have watched a lot of karate movies.
I was an introvert, one. Two, I was a very keen follower of worldly things, what was going on, movies, and because those were the things that were keeping me company because I was an introvert. And the chi is the energy inside me. So how, because expression for introverts is very difficult.
Very difficult.
And they are normally jovial people.
They pick a section to how they express themselves.
Yes. And they are jovial people inside. He's a quiet person, but what is happening inside is exciting. So I thought, for me to come out of this kind of cocoon, because most people would just look at me and say, "Mga izinwazi uyu." Mga izinwazi is a very quiet guy.
Yeah.
What is going on with this guy? You guys don't know what I feel inside and who I am. And how do I communicate to you? And that was one of the inspirations that now triggered me to do music as a way of self-expression. And self-expression is a therapy. And I needed to let out myself.
Hence Chit Chat with G-Wise.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic for me. When I get to talk to people like you, trust me, there's just a certain level of chi that comes within me.
You understand? There's that energy that you at some point need to release.
Why are you laughing?
And I...
He's laughing. Linso, this is your boy.
Yeah, he's laughing.
You stop coming on set.
Let him enjoy the conversation. So the chi that is within me, I let it out through the lyrics that I create. And for me, every lyrical content that I put forth is life.
Yeah.
For me, it's alive. Because when it's emotional, you understand?
There's a lot of attachment to it.
So when someone relates to what I'm talking about and they smile, it's life that I've put in them. You understand? It's a living thing that has gone into their mind and it touches a fellow living thing that is within them. You understand? And there's this energy, when the energies interact and they form just one beautiful energy, it's a creation. So every lyrical content for me is a character that brings forth life. This is how serious I take my lyrical content. It's just not writing, scribbling on the paper and saying nalemba nyimbo. It's life, it's alive. When I bring it out, there must be a person who will relate and say, yeah, this person as if he's talking to me, and it brings joy. They feel they are not alone. And in fact, there's a lot of them. So that is the difference that my work does, and that is the self-expression, and that is why it's therapeutic for me, therapeutic for everybody who listens to my music.
Yeah. You are into what you do, man. I love that. I love the fact that you believe in what you do. And I think growing up listening to your music, and I think it's something that inspired many. You get a point like, so apart from rapping like that guy or that guy, you can actually create your own style and you're accepted.
Yes.
And I think after you, there was a whole generation of artists.
There was a number, there was a legacy now, which is a legacy.
You created that, you understand?
Yeah, there was a legacy now. People began to believe that, kansi ningankale nikamba chabe.
As long as,
and then I make money. Then there's a number. And even comedians now jumped on the bandwagon. They started being featured and they're just talking things. So I have a huge legacy that yourself, you can look at. Yeah.
Big up yourself.
And that, you know what I'm saying? Eh? So you say believe. You have, first of all, you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself. And when you know what you want to do, the aspect of believing is not there. You understand? When you know what you want to bring forth, the aspect of believing is not there, because there is an element of doubt in believing. You understand?
Yes, there is an element of doubt in believing.
But you have to know. You have to know to say, this that I'm doing the right thing for me, which is going to relate to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not believing, because when I begin to believe, I doubt. There's an element of that.
And you see, that's how the devil works, yeah?
Yes.
You believe in something, and the moment you begin to believe it,
you start questioning
something
yourself.
in your mind say,
but
can you?
But
Cindy
already.
You get a point.
That doubt keeps you away from achieving something. You understand? So you have to know, like I say, you have to know yourself. You have to know who you are, your strength, your weaknesses, and what you're capable of. Knowing, not believing. This language called the English was that you have to believe. No, that's a believe family. You know what you're capable of doing, because it is you. Why would you believe in something as if it is not you who's about to do it? Know it. No, I'm gonna do this. You understand? So, somewhat, that's a story for a different day. But I know what I am capable of doing. And I know when I put my mind to it and everything that I have in me. And praise be to the name of God, because it's a gift to know who you are. Not everybody knows who they are.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. You talked about the money.
Yeah.
When did you taste the fruits?
The fruits of the labor. And this time around, it's smart, because it's not out of sweat and stuff like that. It's out of the mind.
You get a point. It's out of the mind.
Out of the thoughts and out of the time that you put in your writing and putting ideas together. So after the song hit, because me and Winston were one of those guys who were tenacious.
So wait, sorry to cut you short. I think we jumped something there. We did, right? This guy. So listen, when you did that collab with Winston, was it at that point that you decided to make a duo?
So now, when we met with Winston at the studio, we first of all said he had the song. He had Georgina playing. I had done
Georgina.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And prior to being solo, Red Linso, I was in a group called Asegai with my colleague.
Why do I remember all this, man?
So this group called Asegai had recorded an album in...
Who was involved?
There was Red Linso and Coco, Ko, who's late now, may his soul rest in peace. we had produced an album which had a hit song called Landilodi. Landilodi zeru zake kuipa. Yeah, that one. So we kind of clicked. He said, I have a song. You have some of these songs that you've put together, my compilation, and my cipher tune and whatnot. Let's make shows. But we are not known. Let's go into this club. Tell them we want to have a show here. And we had talked to people who could organize shows for us as upcoming artists. Then it was very difficult for people to actually believe in whatever you had. They had not listened to it before. But me and Winston would go to the Copper Belt, have shows, have 3 shows in a week, and go to Livingston, have 3 shows in a week. You understand? He's performing his songs, I'm performing my songs. So when it came to the collaborations, it just came naturally. We collaborate. I'm on his song. Kani Alula said, oh, I have a concept written. This is how the concept goes. Laviamut was birthed. And then from there, Winston said, boy, why think I have nyimbo viwili? Inango nkalemwa yabiri yankalemwako yamina manyimbo yabiri. Yes, we put them in your album. I put them in my album. Why not? I said, why? Let's do it. So we did now Zambia and we did Zigolo. Zigolo Zambia to Winston never. Yet why Zambia. So something like that. So we clicked. So we're not a duo from inception. No.
It's a chemistry that
that led us, and that led people to believe that we were a duo. So if they got to a show, there's Winston, and then they start wondering, where is Red Linso? I got to a show, and then they start wondering,
shows, but why didn't they have Winston?
Where is Winston? There's just Red Linso alone there. So I said, okay, we all agreed to say, dude, those songs in your album, my album, let's do this. Let's take over the industry. Let's go everywhere. Let's perform. Have you seen in the world a collaboration of 2 solo artists release 2 albums with hit songs anywhere else in the world apart from the 2 of us?
Whoa!
I don't know. Somebody's gonna tell me to say Chit and Chit collaborated to do 10-track albums and 11-track albums, and they were hit albums. 2
what was the titles
artists.
of your albums?
Those albums, one is titled Room. Yes, and then there was the other one, Muchitenge. You see, it's a ladies' night.
Yeah, man. Wow.
No, it's a unique set
I'm getting old.
It's a unique set of people, and which we thank God for that, because there isn't many who can collaborate like that. A duo and a collaborations are 2 different things.
Yeah,
they mustn't be mistaken.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. 2 different things.
And it's a blessing to have a set of Red Linso, Winston as artists who can collaborate, give you 2 hit albums.
It is a blessing, man.
It's unprecedented.
Right now, you've brought joy, upon myself, upon my face. Like, I'm very excited just remembering those songs. So it is a blessing, man.
Yes, it is. And we thank God for that, because at the end of the day, we are who we are because God allowed us to be.
Amen.
Now, you just cannot be.
No, you can't.
It's not really possible. You cannot be.
Respect
and I see a lot of young people now, artists now, who actually feel like they became. And I became because there was Pitch and Kazembe. I became because there was Pongozi. I became because there were Ali Kinkata. I became because there was Picket Shala. You understand? All these people had their role to play for me to be here, because they were there holding the space, whilst we were not. So I must pay homage to that. And then God allowed for that to happen.
Okay.
For them to be there so they can create that space or hold the space for us to come and flourish. You understand? So that homage must go to these people who were there before us. Like Bemba said, so they were people. They are people now. There will be people in future.
just a few weeks back, I think my rave was telling us that if you don't have a reason to thank God or to pray or a reason just to dedicate yourself to God, let me tell you this. Years from now, let's just go 100 years from now, strangers will live in your houses.
Yeah. They will.
You are here now, but there will be people
you become slaves in your own land.
Yeah.
People will give you directives in your own house at the end of the day. So you need to understand who a human being is. Who are you?
Let's bring back the money aspect.
Yeah, so the money aspect, the moolah aspect. So we had started making a little bit of money. So when we got to the copper belt at a place called Dolphin, I don't know if it's there.
I think it's still, I don't know. But
we had a very...
It's still there, right? Yeah.
We had it's there.
That guy is a Coppola guy.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah.
We had a blast there the first time we went in the copper belt with
major,
Winston.
yeah?
It was major where people were throwing money on the stage, like for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And that was Papa Sandra Mama, upcoming artist. They were giving us money and we were not known. We were nobodies in the circles. And for like my 100 kwacha, not my 5 kwacha. You understand? And Coppola people are very generous when it comes to money. They are different from our people.
I was having a chat when coming. Who are we talking to? About Copper Belt and artists.
Yeah,
something
very
like that,
generous people. Those who have money, they are not stingy with the money. They want to help others have money. So if the whole Zambia was like that, we would be a very, very good people and would have developed to a different level because resources would be there for those lacking. You understand? A lot of artists from the Coppola Belt have actually benefited from that culture that is on the Copper Belt. So we started making the money.
Okay.
Panga tumula. And I know Auntie Maureen, we had no money to go to the Copper Belt. Yes.
Auntie Maureen Lilanda.
Auntie Maureen Lilanda and Winston had a rapport at some those days before. Yeah. So he said, Auntie Maureen, tietwa pempendram. Twauza titirina show. Tizawaletera ndrama zao. Tikabwera. And Auntie Maureen, where you are, wherever she is, we are very grateful for that because wanacho samaf. We are not established. She
she just believed.
Yes, she gave us the money. At the end, that apanga mafu plus, and we came back. We said, Auntie Mo, here's the money that you gave us for transport. We went well and we made some monies. We can afford to actually give you back the money. So Auntie Maureen, and from there the money aspect began to come in. So the now the studios, the people who own the studios started getting interested in making the monies with us because calls were coming from all over for our performances. And then they were...
Sorry, you haven't even had something to eat, yo. You haven't had even a sip of your drink and food is coming through. Mesban is really treating us today.
They are treating us well, I guess.
Boss, nifchanivi?
Butter chicken.
Butter chicken?
Chili chicken.
Chili chicken sauce?
Chili chicken sauce, butter chicken.
Vegetable fried rice.
Vegetable fried rice. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So is there something that is still coming on Tigambe Kulapulap?
Okay. Butter
okay. I need to make it.
This is good, man. This is
it looks very assumptuous.
Sir, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm not going to take that because I told you to sip on yourself, sip on later.
I drink something.
Can you, man, it's good to put back the energy, man.
It's good to really clean, soften the throat.
This looks nice. Let me just dive in. Yeah. So the money started coming in.
So the money started coming in. And then record labels got interested in Winston and Red Linso, but as in individuals.
Not as a team?
No, so Winston Moyo left for Zambia Rhythm Promotion.
That's why the Zambia Rhythm project was built, yeah?
Yes, so they got him at a fee. And he went. So I remained with Soundcheck Studios.
Soundcheck.
And then there was...
Is Soundcheck still there?
It's there. It's still in Chidenja.
Okay.
There was a record label which came first, which was called Africa Music Entertainment, where there was Crazy, and there was... So they approached Soundcheck and they actually assigned me to Africa.
Oh, okay.
So I left Soundcheck. Obviously, after everything was paid for, the expenses paid to Soundcheck for them to get me. So the money continued.
So
now.
There was actually a fee for transfer there.
Yes, there was
Wow.
a transfer fee, of which by then we didn't understand that we needed a cut from that fee.
Okay.
You understand? Now I understand. I get a percentage from that if there was anything to happen.
In that regard.
So that is where the money came in now, which was a plus, because we did not anticipate that we would be making such kind of money doing music. And what we wanted was to actually listen to ourselves on our own airwaves. But the bonus came. So which brings me to the aspect of work. Sometimes you need to put in a lot of work for the money to come. The focus should be on the work, the service. Is it a good service? Then the money can come. So if it's
so
the service,
focus is on the service,
Yeah, the focus should be on the service.
What are some of the services apart from just offering your talent? This food is nice, man.
Yeah, let me just try it.
And it's hot. I hope you love hot food.
Hey, I'm an addict of chili, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I can't eat anything without chili. It's really warm.
Trust me, you're gonna love this. There's some vegetable rice as well here.
Yeah. Cheers.
What I was about to say.
We were talking about services.
Yes. An artist. Does it really end on just bringing your talent to the table?
Okay, so here are a lot of things that we don't understand. So it is using idea on sequence. Sema Zambians. Penango sembeta ngenamo na manjo. So an artist must be holistic in their approach. So if God gives you a talent, you look at, okay, this particular talent, what service do I have to offer? So I have a performance to offer.
Yeah.
So from a performance to offer, what else can I do? I can do merchandising. You know?
Yeah.
I can do merchandising, which is another product out of me, which is a service. So people be looking for that particular product and buy the product. And you look at the society where you're from. What can you do for your people? That which is not being done. You understand? So now from there, it's like a tree which begins to sprout branches from the talent. So actually the talent itself is just a seed which is now going to give you a number of branches from where you can generate incomes.
Yeah. So when we talk about merchandise, we're talking about t-shirts. We're
Caps.
talking about hoodies. Caps. You get a point.
You can even go into
Chicken.
yes, anything that you feel you can sell. If your brand demands that you can sell, you can sell.
And you begin. That's another stream for income as well.
Yes. Yes. That's a stream for making some dough.
Mr. Red.
Yeah.
The new way of they're making money off streams. The new way of making money off mentions, of features, of performances. You've talked about money coming through back then. Yeah. If you had to advise the up and coming artists right now, what would be a word in terms of money?
My advice to the issues of money, never get excited with money. Money is very tricky and slippery.
Yeah.
And it will tell you to do, it will demand for you to do things that are very unnecessary, like impulse buying. You know?
Talk about that, man.
There's so many things that your money, you need to do with the money.
Yeah.
But
wait, at impia na shena. Ati ngawaba broke wakwata mano. Then ngakwate mpia
amano ya puayaya.
Yeah.
That is how money is. That's the only advice I can give them. That's a big pointer. It's either you do what, don't do what the money wants you to do.
Don't do what the money wants you to do. Yeah. Check that, yo. Check that.
Do what the future wants you to do.
Amen to
at that particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, money goes, money comes, like rent. So you have to be ready for the future and prepare for that, for the landing, in fact, because you're going to land at some point or time.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
What goes up comes down, whether you like it or not, but how are you going to come down? How? That is the question. So basically, the age.
Okay.
So let's look at this as work.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I can let's not get excited with popularity.
Mm-hmm.
In the first place, before everything else, you're an individual. You come from home, mom calls you by your name.
Check that.
And you have siblings who call you by the name. You understand? People who know you, where you come from. So when you become that, don't just become that. That is for sure. There must be a you. The sure is for sure. When it's time for you to show, give a service. When it's time for you to be a you, be a you. Live a normal life. When you go for a show, that's your work. It's not your lifestyle, it's work.
It's work, yeah. How true is this? We've heard that in the past artists would perform for a crate of beer.
Well, I never experienced that myself as an artist, because because I'm a non-alcoholic person, or maybe I never had such kind of approaches from Wamaba, my owners, Wamaba. You know what? Why there was that is because of desperation.
Yeah.
If you are an alcohol partaker and you don't have the money, and you will exchange it for your services. So it was some sort of a barter system. You understand? So I never experienced that myself. And I never came across someone who I saw was performing for a crate of beer. But that rumor, or it could be true out there, but as to say I saw it or witnessed it, I can't really call it a fact for myself, but maybe a fact for other people, because they experienced it.
Yeah.
And music has really grown to a level where people have to make their monies, because there's so much that goes
that is involved. Just a music video is over 10,000 for you to get a good one.
A 10,000, that's average probably. People put 40,000, 50,000.
That's what I say, over.
Yes, in a video, so that it can actually compete. So now, when you want someone to go and perform, be ready to cough out a lot of money.
Yeah.
You can't expect them to have good videos, good quality sound, and you can't afford them.
You're not paying Zambians and you're Zambian artists and you're saying, I don't like Zambian music.
I don't like Zambian music. Oh, Zambian musician. It's not, but it's primitivity.
Yeah, man.
You understand? The thought that you are not putting anything in something and you want to reap. You cannot.
You can't.
Because at the end of the day, we are all putting in something, because this is about who we are. This music is heritage for the future generation. You know, they're gonna look back and say, there was so and so and so and so and so. It becomes a part of our heritage. As in such, it must be protected and invested in by a lot of people. By one, if an artist say, I perform for 40,000 per show, given the 40,000
without compromising, without compromising,
because you are not investing into the artist alone. You are investing into the future of your generation. Who knows, maybe this particular artist has got a string of people, and who will help your children, your next generation, grand to come. You understand? So the thought, the way we have the visualizing or the understanding of life for us as a people is a bit limited because we only focus on the nose. We can't see any further than the nose. And as we do things, they are all short term. And I'll give an example where this parent is successful and he doesn't want his children to touch any of his things. You work hard and buy yours. Work hard. I suffered before I had this. That's a very bad mentality. Yeah. Because if you are successful, create a generational wealth. And
just because you went through that bad stuff, why do
no
I
one
have
should
to go
go
through that?
Who is
provide a platform for me to have it easy so that I can do better.
So we need to begin to understand like that. And then we can appreciate each other's work, and we can actually forge and push each other forth and create a better Zambia for ourselves.
Mr. Red Linso, are we expecting anything new from you?
Anything new? I don't like giving hopes to people. But what I can say is that platforms like this will be used when that apropos time comes to say this is what has been done and will be done by then when the time is right and when the time says so. And people will be informed to say this is what has been done for you. But what they can be have a fact of is that I have not retired from music. So I do music, so they can rest assured.
Are you in the studio?
Yeah. Working on this and that. So I delve too much on features, on appearances now, as I am looking forward to going into my personal recording. So I'm trying to psych my creativity aspect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do apart from music?
Well, yeah. So I am a farmer myself, so it's bad that
now I understand where the seed story came from.
Farmers talk about mbeo.
mbeo.
And you get to experience that a lot. So I'm a farmer. I have an organization called Nkanizanga, My Story, which I partnered with a colleague from France, and we basically focus on self-expression using the creative. So the creative arts therapy is a service that we provide to orphanages, community centers where they keep underprivileged people, underprivileged kids, to be specific. So I'm actually there and farming. So I spend like maybe three months I'm in Lusaka, the other months I'm at the farm. I'm busy talking to plants and actually communicating with nature. So I enjoy my life in that manner. So when you call me for a function, for me it's an outing which is basically purely work. So when I'm done with my work on your stage, don't expect me to hang around and you see me again. No, I'm done, I'm gone.
You're gone.
Yeah.
Mr. Red, is there anything that you want to share with us that we haven't tackled here?
Well, there's so many, but what I can say is that this platform is a brilliant platform, G-Wise, and continue with it. And we can discuss a lot of things using this and communicate to a lot of people who can benefit from this. And Red Linso and Winston, just to whisper in your ears, getting to work on something soon. And communicate it to you guys as soon as we do maybe 4 or 5 songs.
Okay.
To say, now it's
so
done.
They're coming back.
So we working on that and putting together a number of things. So yeah, so I'm very grateful that you invited me. And big up to all the fans around the world, because I know everywhere else they are my fans in the world. And by the way, did you notice that there was that controversial song? I'm gonna say it here. There was a song in 2010, 2011, which was a dancehall song, and by then there were just underground dancehall artists everywhere. And I went to Jerry Fingers. I found the beat, and Jerry Fingers be like, and in a beat, I said, "Invest," and then he played the beat for me. And then I said, I have an idea. I whispered to him in the ear, I'm done, I'm gachicha ngati mufuna. You know what I'm saying? So
just put your mic close.
Yeah, ngachicha ngati mufuna. So the song Matako was a dancehall song.
Now I remember, when we were talking, I was like, what song is that?
Yeah, so it was a dancehall song, but this was not in any way demeaning to female folk. This was Impala. Impala in Saka, where only men are allowed to sit and tell stories and discuss about the women discuss about life.
As long as it's men seated and nobody else supposed to be there, the stories remain there.
So they discuss. They say,
happens Pansaka stays Pansaka.
Yeah. So they say, Wanakazin Matako. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I started thinking, okay, this is part of our culture as men. And we talk about they call it nyash now. We talk about nyash a lot. So I said, okay, Mwanakazini what? Mwanakazini Matako. So it was Mwanakazini Matako. That song, it was a dancehall song. So a lot of people up to now, they can't accept that the dancehall artist who produced that song, which was actually a hit world over, is Red Linso, because they don't know the skills that I have.
Give us a sample of that song.
So it was going like this. Let me do a dancehall part.
Yeah.
Me long this girl with a bigger thing. I love this girl with a bigger thing. A body it a shape, things them a sweet, a size them a bigger, so everybody sing. Oh, come baby girl, do the wine for me. But top them candles with wine. You understand?
Yeah.
So it was a dancehall which was something fresh and Zambian.
And different from you, especially.
And they didn't know it was Zambian. So they were singing at kakako, kakako. You understand? Kakako. And then they realized that it was Zambian, Kansai. And they mixed it with Mad Cobra and whatnot in the clubs and stuff like that. And I said, oh, dudes, Zambians can do anything. And then you heard now the dancehall artists started coming out. So I'm proud of the legacy that I've created and the contribution I've created to the Zambian music base.
I'm proud of you too, man. Big up, bro. Big up. Thanks for coming too, man.
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
I owe you, man. Whoa. What a conversation, yeah? What a great conversation. Very insightful, very informative, and I think we touched on issues that I didn't even expect us to touch on, but very, very important that we touched on those issues. I'm grateful to Red Linso and his management for according us this chance to have a chance with them, a chat that is necessary, a chat that will give probably you out there the motivation to believe in yourself, because it's something that really came out of this conversation. Then also the call for affirmative action when it comes to the, intellectual property, the copyright issues. Big on that. Trust me, I love what he brought out. I love the information that he gave. I hope somebody out there heard that and are willing to implement that. Today, like I mentioned, we are at Mezban. Okay, we are at Mezban Paradise restaurant situated along Twin Palm Road in Kablonga. Now, they serve a variety of good meals, and today we've been, treated to a very, very, very nice meal. You guys must come and have this, okay? Butter chicken, nani, and very nice vegetable fried rice right there. So if you want to have, if you're thinking of a place to bring your family, bring your spouse, and of course that obvious somebody, this is a place that you can utilize. Come and have their meals. Remember, Chit Chat with G-Wise on YouTube. Subscribe, okay? On Facebook, follow. Instagram, follow, and just support us. Comment, like, share, and of course we'll bring to you more of this. Okay, it's only by your involvement that we'll continue doing what we are doing. This is a service that we want to offer you each and every time. This is therapeutic. You get a point. You get to watch something like this and you understand in depth where somebody comes from, the struggles that they put in to bring out what they do. Okay, my name is G-Wise. Thanks for being a part of this podcast. I'll see you next time. Same space, same place. Otherwise, big up to my team and everybody involved in this production.